please call me. And right there that day, I gained a new friend, a new mentor, a friend, a colleague. Because from then on, I did. Called Pat many, many times. Many times. So not only were we co-workers, but we became very good friends. So for 21 years, Pat and I and all of us have really dug in and become good friends and created a camaraderie amongst the administrators. We started not long after I was at Borba, having breakfast every Friday morning. And we don't do it every Friday morning now, but it still continues 21 years later. We knew that if, as principals, we didn't get together and laugh, that we would be sitting individually and crying. And so we learned to laugh with each other, and so we would challenge each other week after week. We would challenge and talk about our schools and what we could do better. And Pat always was the positive one, and whenever I'd come in and yeah, she'd slap me around a little bit, get me uplifted, and then right back. But the thing that impressed me the most about Pat, besides being my mentor, was the fact that one day we were talking, and she was at Butterfield by then, and we were talking as a group about how the 900 API was the ultimate, and I was at Cortez, and we were working to get above 800, and I made the statement, I said, I think what we should do is when a school gets to 900, the administration and staff should swap. Because they showed how they could do it at one school, and if they could do it there, they can do it at another one. The next year, Pat Miller went to Levi Dickey. And that hit me right between the eyes. That not only did she really believe in kids, but she believed that all kids could learn. And so she's been instilling that in us as junior administrators, now senior administrator, and she's instilled that in us for years. And so Pat, thank you. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a mentor. You and Dave have been awesome, and we will miss you greatly. So thank you.
One thing. 21 years ago for Rod there. 19 years ago this August, I was sitting in this audience at a school board meeting, and I wasn't sure if I was being approved because it was almost midnight. The school board meeting at that time went until midnight, and I didn't know if I was going to be approved or not as the teaching assistant principal up at Hidden Trails, and they did a flurry of activities, and sitting right in front of me was Pat Miller. She leans back, she goes, if they didn't approve it, you can get a job at Glenmead with me. And I was like, oh, thank goodness, because I was like, I already left Doherty, and what am I going to do? So she has been a great mentor to me. She's also been the principal of my children for a couple of years when my kids went to Glenmead, and they loved every minute of it. And I told my oldest son, who's teaching up in Oakland, that she was retiring. He was like shocked, and it was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. But everybody, from students to parents to even all the administrators, all the school boards, all love Pat, and it's just going to be something that we're going to really, really miss you, Pat. And it's just like, I think I'm like Linda. We're still in denial. We're not in acceptance yet. So probably when we get in the pool, where's Pat? Anyway, thank you so much for all the years.
We got one more. Huh? One more. Oh, there's one more. Diana.
Pat, on behalf of Ruben S. Ayala High School staff and faculty, students and parents, and many of them know you, we want to say thank you so much for everything that you've done for us, and we really appreciate you, and we will miss you dearly. I will miss you. Thank you for everything you've done for me.
Do any of you?
Go fast. Go faster.
Mr. Knopf,
All right.
do you have anything to say?
My turn?
And no, can you? No, Mrs. Miller, can you hold on? No, do it. Do it now.
Go ahead,
yes.
Mr. Na.
Yeah, I remember that that you gave me that piece of advice.
Only one?
One. You've been a lifesaver many times. However, but one piece of advice she had given to me that stuck in my mind. For many, many years, she had said, Mr. Knott, look at person's heart. That's it. She said, good workers always can be trained and developed. But it's more important to find a good person with good heart. And I took it and I kept it and it's mine. And thank you for the great advice.
Love sharing it.
And you have done an excellent job sharing love throughout the district. And you are truly our hero here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mrs. Orozco.
Pat, just to kind of go off of what Mr. Naw said, you do have a good heart. You are a good person. And I am just honored to have been able to know you and work with you, and truly going to miss you. We are losing a wealth as you walk out that door to go and enjoy yourself. I don't know why you want to do that. But do know that I truly, truly appreciate you and who you are.
Thank you. I've enjoyed working with you all these years very much.
Mr. Joseph.
Well, Pat, it's the end of an era. Remember, you and I were principals together in this district, and we were kind of thorns in the sides of some superintendents. As you
Yes,
remember.
we were.
And look what happened to us, huh?
I know.
Anyway.
Sometimes I'm still a thorn, I think.
Yeah, you are. You are. Anyway.
Every now and then there's this little streak that comes out, huh?
Yeah. But, you know, it's tough to replace an icon. It's tough to replace someone who's really irreplaceable. You are Chino. Mm-hmm. You are the symbol of what makes Chino great. And we'll do our best to go on, but my History Channel's leaving.
Yes.
So hopefully we can call you.
You got my number.
At any time.
Each
Okay?
one of you have my number.
And we'll miss you, Pat. We really will. Let's
Thank
give her another
Yeah,
round.
thank you.
Yeah, you stated, your husband stated, come play with me.
Yes.
So
My
you
husband
have-
wants me to play.
Yeah, you have fun with your husband and your children, and you keep your health, stay strong, and seek your very true love.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Now it's all yours.
Now it's my turn. All right. So, believe it or not, my 39 and a half years here, because I actually started subbing for 6 months before I actually got hired. So there's really a half a year in there. I don't count. But my 39 years have really, truly flown by here. And this is really going to be my last formal speech that I will be giving you. Lucky you guys. Of course, that's until I sit up there with you guys, right? Yeah. Okay.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I would like, first off, to thank you for allowing me to grow up here in Chino Valley, because I really did grow up here. Started at that ripe age of, I think I was 23 when I started, or 24, one of those years. You know, I always forget how old I am, so there you go. First off, though, I'd like to thank my husband, who's not here. And that's the story of my life. But actually, if the truth be known, he had me on a flight this morning at 5:40 that I was supposed to go back and meet him in Georgia, because there's a baseball game in Georgia. And he thought it'd be fun there for the weekend. And so he said, I said, no, I can't. I got a school board meeting. It's my last one. He goes, what are they going to do, fire you? And I thought about it, and I said, I guess not. Then I found out that obviously I was going to be acknowledged tonight. And I called him and said, I can't come. And he goes, what do you mean you can't come? I said, I can't come. I got to be here. And he goes, so he accepted that. So it's good. He's at a baseball game by himself again. I'd also like to thank my son, Robbie, who has always, he and Dave always let me do whatever I wanted to do. And that was the best part of my life. I spent hours at work, they were fine with it. I never cooked, they were fine with it. As a matter of fact, in our house, I'd say, hey, I'm cooking tonight, and they'd both say, I'm sorry, we're busy. I'd say, hey, I don't have time to cook, we're going out, they'd both be there. So obviously there's a hint in that, and I never got it. So, but they are both very excited that I'm going to retire and that I'm going to play and have a good time, and I get to spend time with my grandson. This has been a really happy time for me all my years here. And there's a great deal of things that I learned while I was here. And I was able to teach some of my skills to my fellow peers and teach some life lessons. And I was also able to share some of my own expertise with my peers. I've learned to value that having a positive and enthusiastic group of coworkers was the absolute ultimate pleasure to have with me. I witnessed many of my colleagues who gave tirelessly of their time and their energy to enhance the lives of their students, their coworkers, and then their parents to make their lives better. I would like to acknowledge all the people in Chino Valley, because you guys are all the best. That's everybody, because they are great. I'd also like to acknowledge just how much I've been shaped by my colleagues and friends here at CVUSD. I have a ton of experiences, and actually too many to mention here tonight, that have had an impact on my life in a memorable and very meaningful way. The following barely scratches on the surface of all the things that I've learned over the years, but please bear with me as I make mention of some of these memories. So in 1975, no, I'm not going to go there. Okay. I have learned that it takes a group of very special people to commit to their jobs on a daily basis, even when the going gets tough. And believe me, we've all experienced that over the years. And that's part of the big thing is people come here, they work, they dedicate themselves to this job and to the people that they work with and the students that we work with. I'd like to say that I acknowledge that our buildings and grounds are always maintained on a daily basis by a group of people who always come in smiling and cheerful individuals that choose to be happy on a daily basis. I've also learned that if your computer is broken and you approach it with some special words under your breath and then wipe it down with, the wet wipes, and then a sharp kick to the hard drive, that usually it miraculously will start up again. If that doesn't work, I always call the help desk. Thank you very much, Bev, for the help desk. I love to hear of laughter, because I feel that you have to laugh every single day and laugh often, and that's what I've believed in. But I love to hear the laughter coming out of the staff rooms, because I think it reflects the vibrant and happy staff that we are fortunate to have here in Chino Valley. And then there's that cup of coffee. Now, I never learned to drink coffee. But in my case, it was always a shake or a Diet Coke. That when I would have that shake or that coffee with those people before the day starts with friends can make a big difference and give you that much needed perspective to make it a positive day. I need to add also that I would have absolutely been useless at unraveling the mysteries of typing the LCAP with all the boxes and columns, yet my office staff and our office staffs can do that without even thinking twice. I'm blown away by that. That it's impossible to keep the copier free of, from paper jams, especially if I was doing the copying. And that, by the way, I would kick that also, just so you know. Okay. And I really do appreciate the respect that I was always treated with here at Chino Valley. Very importantly, I learned that we are exposed to phenomenal opportunities for growth here. And of that, I have no doubt that we all have had those opportunities. And I have equally learned that we may only fully appreciate them as we move on to become ambassadors for Chino Valley Unified. And then you'll be glad to hear, I have learned that the only thing you should ever lay awake night thinking about is whether or not the Yankees are on top. That's really it. No other thing should you worry about. All right? And finally, personally, I've learned that happiness is the consequence of personal effort. You fight for it, you strive for it, you assist upon it.